Welcome back to Normies Like Us, the podcast that reminds you it's hip to be square. It's Sunday morning, normies. Well, not technically, but today we're talking Cartoon Network. So sit down, tune out, and dial in an all-new episode of Normies Like Us.
You're watching Cartoon Network.
Hello, I am Space Ghost.
Hello, 911 emergency. There's a handsome guy in my house.
Hurry! They're coming home!
The Powerpuff Girls were born!
Cartoons!
Ayo, bad boys. Welcome back. This is Mike.
Hey, this is Cartoony Colin. I can't even
There you go. That's a good one. I'm Joe, and we're joined today by a very special guest, my better half, Cassie.
Ayo, bad girls. It's me.
Hey,
She's
Cassie,
back.
Thank you for being on. Happy to have you.
Yeah.
Last we had you was on the Trick or Treat, the American Horror Story
That's
episode.
such a great episode.
Loved it. That just wrapped up. Feelings on that finale?
Oh boy. Coven 2 was really great. I loved it so much. I love the witches. I love
Coven
Myrtle
2.
Snow. I don't know how they made me love her so much. I love Myrtle Snow. And more witches, please. Maybe some warlocks. I could give or take the warlocks.
Yeah, the warlocks
Cheyenne
weren't really
Jackson
all
could
that
come
interesting.
back.
He was cool.
Who was the other one? All of the ethnic warlocks. They're welcome back.
Yes.
They're welcome back.
Well, the white one was the
into-
Antichrist, so.
Yes.
Well, we're happy to have you, and definitely on this episode talking Cartoon Network today,
Hell yeah.
guys.
Yep.
Good old nostalgia blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Cartoon Network. Toonami,
Network
all of it.
is
Yeah.
thriving. They are the top now, aren't they not? Like, it was
Yeah.
Nick for so long, and finally, like, Cartoon Network is, like, king of cartoons.
They
Yeah,
must
King of
be. I mean, I
cartoons.
apply every goddamn month for a job there. They keep
Seriously.
turning me down.
It's rough.
It was
It's-
the age of SpongeBob forever, and then Adventure Time came through, and now they got Steven Universe, all these shows
Yeah,
that are just
baby.
killing the game.
And I know we're all big cartoon fans, and it definitely came out at a time when we were growing up and hit in the right way and did a lot of interesting shows. But before we get to all that, how about we do a what you guys? What you watching? What you reading? What you playing? Cassie,
That's
you're our
a great
guest.
idea.
You want to start?
Oh boy. All right. So I've been immersed in the world of Bollywood for
Whoa.
like the past 3 weeks, month maybe.
What's that world like?
It's loud.
That I believe.
It's very loud, which I love. It's loud. It's colorful. It's unexpected. I first got into it because on Netflix they have a lot of great Bollywood movies, classic Bollywood movies from the 90s, and they're a delight. They're a time commitment, but they're such a delight. And I rediscovered something I knew, like the main music number I had seen before I knew of it. I had seen it on YouTube. Because Bollywood movies are very difficult to get a hold of, especially without artifacts, without, I got one, I ordered it like a maniac and it had a watermark on it. And I was like, what is
weird
this?
dubs
They're
too,
hard
I'm
to,
sure.
oh boy. Like not the audio can be bad. I got this one copy. The song was like a half key higher than it normally is, which was so insane. I was so frustrated. So I got another copy like maniac. The movie is called Straight from the Heart in English. And it's, it's a romantic comedy, but it really turns like the traditional romantic comedy on its head, in my opinion, especially in terms of like Bollywood movies. So it came out like in 2000, I think. And like, it was like, it got like Best Picture at Venice that year. Like it was like, oh, really unexpected. And it's just really fun to revisit, but it's an extreme time commitment. So what I end up doing is I've been just watching it like every day, and it's like 3 hours. So I just put it on in the background, but no, I am watching that movie over and over again, and that's how I spend my time.
And picking up scenes.
But
again,
it's
scenes,
a lot
blah,
to
blah.
digest. There's a lot going on, and I just think there's a lot to be learned from the themes and, motifs and all the stuff. I really like that director. I think it's one of the best directed Bollywood movies I've ever seen, because I've seen more than one, and like Straight from the Heart's like tops.
Oh, hot damn. Good recommendation. I'll say for sure that I am a normie when it comes to Bollywood films. So I'm
Yeah.
loving hearing that niche. Wow.
I mean, you really just got to dive into it and get ready. You're not going to believe how long it is and how engrossed you are, because I never think I'm going to get like tucked up in it, and I get super tucked and I can't get out. It's not, and it's slightly embarrassing because people will be like, hit me up and be like, what are you doing? It's like, and they're like, are you watching that Bollywood movie again? Like, I absolutely am. And I discover new things every time I watch it.
Damn.
So, yeah, it's pretty great.
I don't think I've ever done that with one movie before.
I do that, all through my childhood cartoons. Like, that's the point of cartoons. You watch them over and over and over and over again. And, like, repetition has always been important to me. And I love, like, you can watch some of these cartoon episodes a trillion times and I will never get sick of it. It's great every time. Like Powerpuff Girls, like, are you kidding me? Like, I had seen some of those episodes like 10 times in the same day, and I didn't care. Like, I'll watch it till the cows come home.
Yeah, and even not even seeing it in 10 years, I can think of so many specifics about it too. God, it just sticks with you.
Yeah.
Specific scenes, all that. Yeah.
Well, how about you guys? Whatcha?
Daredevil season 3, tore through that.
You wrapped it up.
I did. Coming off the Stan Lee episode, I was excited to finish that one. So
Did that make it
really
sting
good.
more though?
A little bit. We also rewatched Black Panther a couple nights ago, and when his cameo came up, it was like, oh, there he is again.
There's the man.
Nice.
But yeah, Daredevil, that's been the major thing.
Happy with everything about it, the villains.
I did, yeah. We get a good tease of Bullseye coming for the future. Kingpin's performance, it just can't be beat, man. Vincent D'Onofrio is so good in that role. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's the Netflix Marvel show that survives the Thanos snap that's going on there now that we've lost Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Hopefully Jessica and Daredevil survive.
Oh, God, that's a good point. You don't know. Could
Yeah.
be canceled. Hopefully not, normies. Mike, how about you? Whatcha?
Well, I've been still playing Red Dead 2. Go back and listen to our Western episode. Tragically, my horse got hit by a train.
Oh,
What
Mike.
was its name?
It was hit by a train. Wait, hold on, Mike. I don't care about the name real quick. I want to
Everyone
know
cares
how
about
that
the
even
names.
happens. You were crossing the tracks as the train was coming by. You didn't see it. You were asleep. What? Tell me.
I was asleep at the wheel. Basically, and the horse was named Thunder. It was my Thunder horse,
Wow.
based on Metalocalypse, which is sort of coming
Thunder.
from
Wow.
I knew his last name. I just called him Thunder for short.
Oh.
So me and Thunder was my big dumb horse, the one that pulls wagons, the biggest horse you can get. He's very slow, but he's good. So I'm riding him, and I had it on autopilot, and I was just, who knows, checking my fantasy lineup, something or other, and then I just hear a train coming. By the time I
my
look up,
God.
the train had come and clipped him right in the head.
Mike, you were texting while driving a wagon?
I was texting while driving my
That
horse.
is such a deadly combination.
So
dude.
even if you have it on the autopilot cinematic mode, you
Yeah.
can still get hit by a train.
train. Well, you can get robbed or attacked by wolves
What?
in the cinematic mode. You got to pay attention when it's on autopilot because
Wow.
stuff can still happen. So
It's like The Sims, like where you
Yeah.
get robbed in the middle of the night and you can't even do anything.
so I was very.
Sometimes your horse
sad.
gets hit.
By a
is
train.
brutal.
You gotta keep your eyes on the road, people. Listen to me.
Trains, they come out of nowhere.
They really do. They won the West. All right, got my horse in the process. So that was very sad. I have a new horse named Thor. He's not quite as big and definitely much less dumb. But
I was going to say Sparkle horse.
Spark. I need my My Little Pony friendship is mad.
Oh, no.
And then watching wise, I've been watching How to Get Away with Murder. It's good. I try to not watch network shows. I don't know why.
But you're getting pulled in.
I'm in. It's well written. There's a lot of intrigue, and it's just a fun show. So that's it for me.
Yeah, Shonda Rhimes like the queen of network TV for so long now.
And Colin, how about you? What's you?
Guys, let me hit you with this. I want to do a proposal for my Whatcha. So here's what I've been watching. Smash Brother News came out. I'm watching these videos. We got the trailer. Smash Brothers for the Switch. It's going to have some DLC. That's what we learned. We're going to get 5 original characters released over the next couple years. So I want to use this part. Let's do a pitch here. What's a video game character you love? Who's somebody you think could get into one of those slots
Yes,
that maybe
I love this.
Nintendo's
I love
missing
this.
out on? Yeah, Cassie, I know you're a huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
Sora,
I mean, do you
put him
want
in there.
Sora in there,
Please. You
One
got
of those
all those
characters
like I
easily.
don't know those other like characters. I don't know what they are.
Like Shulk.
Put Sora in with the Keyblade. Gonna toss
Xenoblade,
you on
throw
your
that
ass
out there.
with
Sora,
the Keyblade.
get him in there. I agree.
And he could have a
completely.
real handle like Link, and it would be fun for people to be like, "Oh, I like if you like Link, you'll like Sora." Like, have a similar like.
Give
If
me
you
a
like
little
any of the
floaty.
Fire
Style.
Emblem characters, they all
We have
use
so
swords
many of
too.
them.
You
There's
would
so
love him
many
as
of
well.
them.
No, come on. I mean, that would be great. But should it be Nintendo history based? Should it be somebody else like that? We see Piranha Plant's going to be one of the
Which
DLC
that
characters.
makes no sense.
It's-
No sense.
Why is
but it's going to be
Piranha Plant a
all
character?
originals, no echoes. So think outside the box here.
All originals.
Dry Bones. Give me Dry Bones.
The Hammer Bros.
The Hammer Bros. That'd be cool. Should it be more Mario based? I mean,
I think you'll get Waluigi.
Would it be Waluigi?
Please.
I think he would be the only one that maybe
people
could
love
slip
him.
in there
They love
from
him. For no
Mario.
reason.
People
Why?
love Waluigi
For their
for
reasons.
no reason.
They have their reasons.
They love him because of Mario Tennis and Mario Party.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one makes a lot of sense. I would also Nintendo's history. I don't know they've hit everything.
I did the write-in ballot when they released the last game for the Wii U. I wrote in Castlevania. I got my
we're
wish,
getting,
guys.
yeah.
We're getting 2 characters, so I don't know how to be appeased here. Maybe another Mega Man character. Zero is a supporting character in
Zero
that
could
world.
be
Maybe
fun.
a Mega Man X, who's a spin-off character in the Mega Man world.
Proto Man.
Something like that. Proto Man would be cool.
What Pokemon are not in there yet
What
that you want in
Pokemon?
there?
Come on.
We might be getting oversaturated.
We've
with
got
Pokemon.
Mewtwo. Make Mew.
Yeah, it should be like things that
maybe.
are not in there already. That would just be.
What's a
So
franchise
not an
they
assist
haven't
trophy
touched
too
yet,
either.
though?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Nintendo, Paper Route.
Or anything. I mean, we've got Snake in there, guys. I want Sora. I want
Sora's a
Ooh,
great
dot
ad.
dot. I
Could
want.
that? I mean, it's Nintendo, so like that's Square Enix.
But they have Cloud in that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, they're.
Oh,
I mean,
but
they
that's
always
Final
mix in weird
Fantasy.
stuff.
we
Go
have
Square.
Bayonetta. How
Yeah.
about the spin-off character there, Dante, Devil's May Cry? Why
Yeah.
not throw
Oh, yeah.
him in too? You know, that's a huge video game.
Give me one of the turtles, man.
I
Oh
mean,
my
one of the
gosh.
turtles.
Turtles in Time, biggest Super Nintendo
That's it.
game of all time.
That's the biggest one.
Why
Get-
not hit me with one of the turtles?
The turtles would be
blown
great.
away.
I think Dark Souls is there. They're not going to do
Dark
it.
Souls, Mike. They've
That would be
already
so
got the
cool,
amiibo.
though.
What if they
Right.
threw in Solaire?
Even Sigward or Sigmire, the onion guy, he could be fun.
The Onion Knight.
Anyway, I don't think we'll see that, but definitely.
All right. I just wanted you
Turtles.
guys to weigh in on that. I loved all the opinions there. Normies, reach out to us. Who do you think are going to be those last 5 characters in Smash Bros? Let
I
us
can't
know.
believe they're going the DLC route. Remember when they announced the game and they were like, "No new characters. Stop asking. This
Yeah.
is what you're getting."
Yeah. Yeah.
We put everyone in it.
Sakurai's really come around. You know, I think
People
I
are-
think he sees.
People look at the background of those videos and there's like, look, there's a purple chair with a yellow thing on it. That's Waluigi. He's like, they're gonna announce it. Like,
Ooh, just while we're saying other
It's an
things,
Easter egg.
ARMS is a huge new video game in the Switch world.
yeah, I
they
wouldn't
have
be
a
surprised to
female
see that.
character, Ribbon Girl, who's like the fan favorite. We have not seen a character like that. There is an ARMS character who's a supporting trophy, but it's not her. Could it be her? I don't know.
that would
So
make
let
sense.
us know, guys.
I would expect to see something out of the new franchises.
Yes, me too.
yeah, definitely.
Minecraft, Steve.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
Fortnite. What are the biggest video games of all time now?
True. I mean, those are pretty big.
Would they buck on a trend?
Yeah, give me a Call of Duty Black Op in Smash Bros.
Thanos.
Oh my god.
Doom guy, Mike.
Ooh.
Master Chief.
Master Chief would make sense, but we'll
Doom,
Master Chief would
Doom
be
the
great. They-
first port of it was
Microsoft
on a Nintendo. They have
Oh,
the
there you
history
go.
there.
I own the red cartridge still to this day,
Oh my
the Super
God.
Nintendo Doom one, so that would be pretty cool. I'm excited to see it. It's going to be huge. I'm trying to get a Switch on Black Friday. Well, maybe I will have already
Nice.
gotten it by now, by the time this airs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
All right, hey, future Mike,
I
enjoy
might have
that
a Switch.
buddy. Yeah, I hope you're playing Pokemon for
I
babies.
might have a Switch right now. I don't know.
I might be going home after this to play it. Who knows?
That could be the case.
Yeah. Well, that's our What Ya, everybody. Now we're back. We're going to talk Cartoon Network. Let's go ahead and throw it to the TV and the legacy of Cartoon Network.
Mama had a chicken. Mama had a cow. Dad was proud. He didn't care how. Cow. Chicken. Cow and chicken.
Hey, normies, welcome back. We're talking Cartoon Network. We're talking the history of the TV network starting October 1st, 1992. Ted Turner of Turner Broadcasting owned a huge library of old school cartoons. We're talking the WB stuff. We're talking Popeye. We're talking Merry Melodies. We're talking all that goofy shit. And he said, I need an outlet for this. So he purchased a network and he just released a channel. So he starts streaming all this stuff. And we don't get any original content until the Moxie show. And I don't know if you guys remember that. Do you? Any memories of the Moxie
What did Moxie
show?
look like?
Moxie was kind of a little silly brown dog with big ears. He kind of looked like a Pluto ripoff, I guess, from Disney.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember Moxie.
No, but the Moxie show is like the birthplace of all of the stuff you remember growing up, right?
Yeah, so the Moxie Show, speaking of the creator of it, Brad DeGraff, goes on to create What a Cartoon. He takes this concept, the Moxie Show, which is a short anthology thing. It's a dog named Moxie, voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait, a stand-up comedian, who would just, premiere cartoons. He takes that, he makes What a Cartoon. That gets greenlit by the network to start doing more weird original programming, a lot of different shorts. Let's talk about the cartoons that came from that. Dexter's Laboratory, 1996. Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, 1997. The Powerpuff Girls, 1998. Mike, Lou, and Og, Courage, Cowardly Dog, 1999. Boom. Those are the original 6.
The original 6 is like the NHL.
Legendary. Started it all. I do not know one of these.
Can I guess what it is? That's the exact one I have no
what
memory
the hell
of.
is
Do
Mike,
you
Lou,
guys
and
know?
Og?
Mike, Lou, and Og.
You probably saw it, you just don't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those 3 words, when they're said in sequence, they mean something to me, but I don't know what.
See, they don't. To me.
There's
That just
something
is like-
there, but I can't
Well,
unlock
let me
it.
tell you guys what it is and why I think personally we might not have, but maybe you, Cassie, do have a memory of it. It was a TV cartoon that was about a little girl who came to an island. She was the only person there who would come to it, as an outsider. All the others were natives. And it featured her friend, who was also a native of the island, and then that friend's brother, that is the Og, Mike, Lou, and Og. And they would just go on adventures together around the island. In my opinion, growing up at the time in the 90s, this was probably what I would consider a girl cartoon because it featured 2 girl leads, so I probably wasn't watching it.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all. That sounds like a Candle Grove type experience to me, where it's like that's not a real thing. People just put that
almost
out.
like a Gilligan's Island, sort of just like a silly for teens. It just wasn't for me. I was watching Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's kind of what I was obsessed with.
So what are your out of those original 6 tops and bottoms here? What are your favorites, your least favorites of these original 6?
I mean, and we remember everything about these. Dexter's Lab, Dee Dee, the annoying sister, ruining Dexter, the genius. He's got the secret lab. Cow and Chicken, 2 odd siblings.
It's like they're Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, we're like Ren and
Cat
Stimpy,
dog.
who were, mom and dad, a pair of legs that sort of took care of them. We just went on their adventures. Powerpuff Girls, awesome superheroes.
Awesome.
And again, these were girl leads, but I was watching that. Was it because they were superheroes? I don't know.
I think it's just,
Probably,
I do think
definitely.
that,
it's just a
And their,
universally great show.
Yeah.
Their fucking rogues gallery was so bizarre.
Well, can I ask, is that where M Monkey premiered, or was that on
Mojo
Dexter?
Jojo.
Oh, that was
Mojo.
Mojo. Jojo was the bad guy in Dexter. That's correct.
Yeah.
But then, of course,
Mojo Jojo was a bad guy in
Powerpuff Girls.
Or, I'm sorry,
and
in
then
Powerpuff
Dexter
Girls.
had an arch nemesis. I don't remember his name.
Mandrake.
Oh,
Yes.
Or Mandark.
I
Was
think
that his name?
Mandark.
Mandark.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe, potentially. I
Another
remember that
genius.
movie well, of course. And then, something like Courage the Cowardly Dog, a little dog who's owned by an elderly couple, lives
Love
out in the
Courage.
desert. And I guess the themes of the episodes were just him getting scared.
It's like Lovecraft stuff. That show is like, there's a lot of interesting fan theories around Courage.
They were Twilight Zone episodes.
Basically,
I
yes.
loved Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Why would that be for a child?
It's great question. Johnny Bravo. Why was that for children?
Okay, so Johnny Bravo, a Lothario goes around. Every episode is just him hitting on a woman.
And getting yelled at for it,
And
which I
getting
think
yelled
was
at for it.
important.
Yeah.
It's important that he
And
got
he
yelled
was
at.
like, you knew he was pathetic
Oh,
because
yeah.
he still lived with his mom, and like he was vain, and that was his, that was his downfall, was that he thought he was so great, but really he was just like some loser who hit on women who couldn't be less interested. Did we ever see him get with a girl?
No,
No,
never,
and
never,
that was
no.
important. I think that was like,
Yeah, he's a modern
like,
Pepe Le Pew.
At 8
Yeah,
years
yeah.
old. Who is
Right.
that for?
I don't know.
who
I
are
loved
they
Johnny
making that show
Bravo.
for?
I loved it.
It's a fun show,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fun. It's just like, you know what's going to happen. It's like Roadrunner. Like,
Yeah.
he's never going to get the Roadrunner. He's never going to get
Tom
the
and
girl.
Jerry,
'cause
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a fool. So,
That's
Yeah.
true. Cat and mouse.
Well, even then, not even just saying our favorite out of these top 6. Let's go ahead and throw in the other 2. These were ones greenlit. These were not original shorts inside What a Cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
These were their own independent things developed afterwards. The first one's greenlit on the network. I Am Weasel and Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
I mean, do you guys remember that
Love
show?
Yeah.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie was probably one of the most popular things
Yeah.
when I was growing up.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
remember
Double D.
Plank, Double D.
Yep, Plank. Plank is great.
The Weird
Plank's
Foreign
really
Kid.
great. Oh, the
Yeah.
Weird Foreign Kid.
Oh, I
The
remember
Canker
everything about 'em.
Sisters,
Yep. Yeah. Something was going on there, and of course, the odd theory that every kid in the neighborhood was dead. Did you guys ever
I don't
read
want to
that
hear
stuff?
that.
Everyone
No,
of
Yeah,
I
no,
really related
Cassie,
to Ed
I'm
and
with
Eddie.
you.
Like, no, that's just like, and they do that with Courage. It's like, can you just take it at face value? So
Thank
Ed and
you.
Eddie reminds me of my summers as a kid, like as like a cul-de-sac kid in
Running around, getting up to
nowhere,
dumb shit
Ohio.
stuff.
Yes, like and definitely. Just doing hood rat shit with your friends in the summer. And it was always hot. It was always summertime. And I think they've talked about how like it's supposed to be summertime. Like it's supposed to be, they're not going to school. I don't think we ever see them go to school. And like
I don't
they're
think you ever see an adult.
Yeah, no. And like it's just a world that exists for kids and like just their little realm. And like the main characters were so great. And what are they? The Canker sisters?
Yes,
Is that
the
Yeah.
Canker
so
sisters. And do you guys remember the
incredible, like-
Currency Jawbreakers?
Yeah.
That's
Gigantic.
right.
The way those were
Strange.
animated was so strange and weird. So favorites, was
It was
that
a little like
it?
gross. It
Yeah.
was kind of like a gross universe.
So was Courage, and so was freaking Cow and Chicken. I
Yeah.
could not
Cow and
handle.
Chicken was weird.
Ooh,
probably
yeah,
had some
lots of butt
nightmares from that
humor
show.
before butts really became
Because
a
the
thing.
It was Ren and Stimpy,
counterpoint,
though,
like
you
Cow
said,
literally
Mike.
eats ass. Like
Oh,
that's
all
what
the
he
time.
does.
And their villain was like the devil.
devil.
Yeah, he was a red guy
Same
with a
in,
butt with Powerpuff
him
Girls.
in,
yeah, him.
Powerpuff
Yeah, him
Girls.
who was like
Very spooked.
Don't
With the
start me on
lobster
weird
claws.
gender issues.
Doesn't start on him. Him awoke a lot of stuff in me.
Yeah, I think him was meant to awaken a lot of things in all
I've
children.
unfortunately, yeah, I fear as well.
The devil.
My eyes are rolling back.
Unpopular opinion here.
Yeah.
I don't like cartoons about kids.
Wow.
They're just not for me.
interesting.
Ed and Eddie was not one of my favorites.
Joe, what is Young Justice in your eyes? We'll talk about that in the future.
See, but that's different to
They're
me.
not
That's
children.
about superheroes.
Okay.
That's,
And teens?
Yeah, I don't like these are Nick shows and ABC shows, so I guess they don't really count. But like Doug, Hey Arnold, Ed and Eddie. I don't give a shit about those types
No
of shows.
Rugrats,
As
for
a,
sure.
yeah, like as a kid, I was just not
But
interested.
a Rocco's
in
Modern
that.
Life, a guy hitting middle age, kind of.
Yeah,
and sort of,
or
like, figuring
Courage the
shit out.
Cowardly Dog, like a kind of spooky show about a dog, like that kind of stuff. Scooby Doo, like all
Hell
of that
yes.
hit me way more than Kids in the Neighborhood. Like I didn't really care so much about those ones. So I would put Courage over Ed and Eddie personally.
The characterization of Ed and Eddie you really can't beat though. Like I really fell in love with every Ed and Eddie. Like I loved each
Double
of
D.
them. Yeah, you were a double D
I
guy.
was a double D
I like
guy.
double D as well, yeah.
I think I like Eddie, who's the one with the green tongue, the leader. Yeah. 'Cause
Oh,
he
not the
was-
dumb guy.
No,
Yeah.
Ed.
He was
I
just
think.
Ed,
Yeah, Ed.
No, I hated
He's
him.
also hilarious.
Yeah.
I knew boys growing up who were exactly like those
Sure.
those three boys, and like that was endearing to me. Like I had friends that reminded me, of those characters, so that made it fun. And
it's relatable.
even who carried around Plank, like the little boy with the
He was
what
like-
he
was
was
his
like
name?
bald too.
No,
yeah.
he just had crazy hair,
had, like,
and he had
3 hairs.
He
Oh,
had
yeah, yeah.
They
braces.
all looked very weird and
Yeah.
spooky.
And then there was
Oh,
like
he did have braces. You're
Yeah,
right. That
what was
was
his
thing.
name?
He had a retainer.
He was
Yeah.
like the Butters of Ed and Eddie.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a great way to put
He
it.
was the one who carried around Plank, right?
Yes.
Or no, was it someone else?
he
Look, I would
Plank.
say
No, I'm
Plank
pretty sure it
carried
was
him
him.
around, Cassie.
Plank had
It was
a mind of
ventriloquist,
its
just
own
like,
by the end.
Batman villain.
Plank was its own character too, which I think I love that. Like
Yeah.
I love how
Yeah.
like Plank would get into shenanigans every once in a while. It's like it's a literal like piece of wood. Like,
Yeah, that's
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I
I
love
watched
it.
every episode. It was still the type of show where it's like, well, obviously I'm going to watch it.
It's cartoons.
Yeah, but it just wasn't one of my favorites.
I love modern fan art of Ed and Eddie with them aged up a little, and as like teenagers, it's very like Encino Man. I just like I really
See, I
vibe
think
with
it's
it.
spooky. Like, are you talking like the 3D animated ones that are like kind of gross looking too?
No, just fan art that kind of like modernizes them and ages them up just a touch to where I would say like beginning high school or like late middle school is where they are, as opposed to like they seem like 10. I don't know. They seem pretty
Yeah,
young.
pretty young.
Yeah. So
Well, like as a kid, I mean, that's what you did
Yeah.
in the summers. You rode around on your bike all day from sun up to sundown.
I did not eat Jawbreakers though.
no,
No.
never got a hold of a jawbreaker. They're terrible for
They're
your freaking
terrible.
teeth. Really bad. So
I mean, if I can, the real heavyweight for me here is Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
That
That's a good
show's
one.
so good. Joe's right. The Rogues Gallery is amazing.
Yeah,
Like-
him, Mojo Jojo.
The Gang Green
Fuzzy
Gang.
Lumpkin.
Gang Green Gang,
How
which has
awesome.
continuity with the band Gorillaz, if anyone is
Whoa,
familiar.
really?
Yes.
Wow.
Have you seen their newest music video?
No.
Like the leader of the Gang Green Gang, because I think Murdoch is in jail. Their bass player is in jail. So coming in is what's his name? The leader of the Gang
I
Green
can't remember
Gang.
the leader of the Gang Green Gang.
But there's another, and then I think Noodle has a tattoo that you can like. It's a on Noodle, the character in Gorillaz. Like that is a crossed universe. Like the creators of
So nuts.
Gorillaz
That is nuts.
and I can't believe I'm the only one who didn't know
No,
this.
that
I didn't know
I
that at all.
discovered that in the
That's,
depths
like,
of
real
Tumblr,
niche.
which is
Wow.
I don't know why, but like Tumblr is saying it's not available, and I'm like having a heart attack. But I
Whoa.
learned that on Tumblr that like when that came out, people were like, "Wait a minute, look at this, look at this, look at that," and then the creators like came out and said like, "Oh yeah, we're friends and we did that on purpose." And
That's
it's like,
crazy.
you didn't know that?
No, that's...
They're Powerpuff Girls is back too, right?
Yes,
have
there
just
was a
doing
modern
that.
adaptation.
And they added a 4th Powerpuff Girl, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, it's updated
What
now.
color is her hair?
purple.
Oh,
She's
really?
purple. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, her outfit's purple, yeah. I don't know what her name
Cool.
is, though.
I had no idea. I just
I
knew that
don't-
it was back.
I would assume lavender or something.
Makes sense.
Sure. Bubbles,
So-
Blossom and
Oh,
Buttercup.
I love the.
Who was your
the
favorite?
Oh, I guess it'll be a B.
Oh, yeah, who's your
dude,
favorite
Okay,
Powerpuff
let's
Girl?
talk about that real quick. Okay. Look. Just to even... I don't know. I feel like it's weird to have a favorite,
Yeah.
but I do have a favorite of them. And, just growing up, I even had it as a kid is what I'm trying to say. So what was it about it? Was it striking? Was it an aesthetic thing? I don't know. I like Bubbles. She's
Yeah.
the blonde one. She's
She's
the cool,
definitely the
sweet
most
one.
iconic
Yeah,
for sure.
okay.
Yeah.
My little sisters were huge Powerpuff Girl fans. I remember taking them to the movie when the movie came
Oh,
out.
really?
Yeah.
You see the origin of Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, Diana was a big Bubbles fan. Like she loved Bubbles. And
Little
Minette
sisters
Blossom.
loved Bubbles.
Yeah.
And Minette loved Blossom.
yeah.
I loved Blossom, but boy, oh boy, was I Buttercup. Like I was,
Yeah,
and I
Cassie,
never
I
would.
believe that.
Yeah.
I'm Team Buttercup. I like the
Yeah.
the tough girl. She's
But
so cool.
is that in your mind? It's like, why?
I just
She's
think
the
it's cool.
antithesis to Bubbles.
Okay.
And she's just tough. And
I like her name. I mean, her name.
Well, even that's
Cheer up,
kind of
Buttercup,
what-
but she's
Yeah.
like the little tough girl.
she's Raphael.
yeah.
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 When I look at the Powerpuff Girls,
Raphael and Buttercup.
Oh yeah,
Half
I like
of what
that
I like
comparison.
about Bubbles is that her name is
Yeah.
Bubbles.
yeah, but you're a Mikey kid. I get it.
Yeah.
but they're like the mind, body, and spirit of the team.
Yeah.
So Buttercup is the body, Bubbles is the spirit, like the heart. She's like nice,
Blossom's
kind, and then
the
Blossom's
leader.
kind of the leader of the mind. So I
Yeah.
kind of look at them like that.
I always wanted to be a redhead, so I always like wanted to be Blossom, but definitely Buttercup. Like definitely Buttercup was tops. And a lot of the conflict was centered around Buttercup because she was such a problem, and then Bubbles
she was always
would-
getting in trouble.
Yeah, so it's like
Raphael.
Yeah, or Bubbles would befriend a squirrel.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Bubbles would cause problems too with
Yeah.
her naivety, and
Innocence.
sometimes
Blossom could
would
try
screw
too
up.
hard.
Yeah, Blossom was a tryhard.
The mayor and his assistant who was just
What was going on?
legs.
But see, again,
Yeah.
this is kind of what I was dancing around. I also had some feelings about her as a kid.
Yeah,
and
of
what
course you
was
did,
going
dog.
on there? Was
I don't know.
that intentional?
But I liked it, I guess.
Okay.
I get
Fuzzy
it.
Lumpkins. Do you guys remember the Hick villain? He was the
Yes.
pink.
All the
fuzzy-
villains were really
I
great.
The
Do you
Rowdy
remember the
Rough
little
Boys.
The
Yes.
Rowdy Rough Boys.
Yeah.
The Powerpuff Girls and the Rowdy Rough
Guys,
Boys.
That was great
Next
for
Halloween,
Buttercup
are we
because
going
she
as
had a
the
lot of
Rowdy Rough
masculine
Boys?
energy to be paired with the Rowdy Rough Boys.
True.
I think was like, oh, you think you're bad? Oh, let Buttercup tell you how it's done.
And yeah,
Like-
they would be great too because the Rowdy Rough Boys were like, "Oh, you're just girls," and then they would have to show them what's up.
Yes.
Like that's great. That's so like for that time too.
Hey,
do you guys know about the unaired episode of?
Whoa, what's it about?
Oh,
Is
it's
this
like
a creepypasta you're about to hit us
No, it's just like about like they tried to do something like they eventually pulled it, the feminazi episode where they have the woman power and she ends up being problematic and they have to defeat her, and it was like
Yeah, and it's the
really-
secretary who beats her. I do remember that one, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Again,
it was
she has like hydra
eventually
hair that
pulled.
can move and like snake hair. Yeah,
And
I
her,
do
like,
remember
she
that.
has like a gun that's like, I think it's like the woman symbol, the female symbol, and that's
right.
like her symbol. And they end up having to defeat her, and it's like really problematic because it was trying to be like, like this, like feminism is equality, it's not inequality, is what they were trying to get across. But they eventually stopped running it because like it was just people couldn't pick it apart. So
A little much for a cartoon.
for Powerpuff
kids.
Girls, I guess.
hey, if
they
we're
just
talking
couldn't
all of
approach it.
I mean, like, was Cartoon Network the birth of adult animation, though? I mean, like,
Perhaps.
Anime, man, had been around way before.
yeah, but I'm talking more shows like, I mean, I guess The Simpsons was, but like
true.
shows like Family Guy and Big Mouth, BoJack, stuff like that. I mean, are these people who were inspired by characters like the Powerpuff Girls and their play on superheroes and Johnny Bravo? Like,
I would put it this way: of if there was not that What a Cartoon program, if Cartoon Network and Turner Broadcasting was not willing to invest in that, we of course would not have had this future renaissance of 1,000 of these different cartoons, let alone the creation of Adult Swim, which generated more adult-oriented content, which then reflected back on Cartoon Network to allow them to do teen-oriented content. You know, without that, there wouldn't be the adult respect to what cartoons are.
yeah.
But I think
I
even
guess
the
that's what I was
basics
thinking now.
push the boundaries, like Courage especially, and like, you know, Johnny Bravo was cheeky. Like they wanted parents to be able to watch it and enjoy it. Like anyone who's
Yes.
making kids content needs to be thinking like, okay, can a parent look at this and like get a joke that the kid can't? Absolutely they can in Johnny Bravo. Absolutely they can in Courage, because Courage was like low key deep. And like,
Oh, yeah, I love
so
Can you
Courage.
imagine being a parent? I want to call out my dad right now and be like, do you fucking remember Cow and Chicken? Like,
Yeah.
will you
Cow and Chicken.
describe
Oh yeah,
that
I
to
don't know
me?
about. I mean, like
If he was
that
sitting down next to me watching that, he should have been like reported.
You're not allowed to watch this anymore. Yeah. I don't know what this is.
Hey, is this a Berenstein Bears thing? Did Powerpuff Girls ever cross over with Dexter's Lab?
I don't know if they. Ever
I don't
did
know if anyone ever did in
crossovers.
actual
They
shows.
would in the
but
bumps,
in-
and
yeah,
I
in
think
the
that's all
bumps.
anybody wanted was to
The
see them.
Bumps.
You
What
know,
an iconic Cartoon Network thing.
and remember the little splashes that used
Yeah.
to come up, and they'd be other characters, and
Yeah.
they'd be like whoop 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 whoop,
The
and
little
they'd like do a
CN.
little. Yeah, they were so creative about that. Like that's acceptable. I'll take that, but like. Get your freaking watermarks off your crap. Even on Netflix, they're starting to put it on there.
Yeah,
We've
it's
been
all
back
there.
and forth with this
boy.
all through history. You gotta cut it out. I cannot stand that shit. And if you're gonna do it, be creative. Like do something cute and funny.
Blend it
don't
in.
just
See, for me, don't do it. Give
Just
me your
don't do it.
content clean.
Yeah,
you want it to be
absolutely.
eternal. You want it to live forever. You can't
We
be
don't need
watermarking
that
it.
little
Yeah.
watermark. So
You've been
silly.
warned.
Yeah, the bumps were where the
Soft come
crossovers
for you.
were for their little promos, and yeah, no crossovers. I don't think ever happened.
No, I think
between-
those were really just promotional stuff.
Yeah,
which
in
was
my
smart.
mind,
No one
I
was
don't
doing
know.
anything like that. And like, you know, they were the original shows, but also like, do you guys remember watching hours and hours of fucking Scooby-Doo on Cartoon Network, or am I the only one?
Or Looney Tunes, all that stuff. I, mean,
I
fucking
hated
love
the
Scooby-Doo.
young Scooby. I hated all the like little
Scrappy
Looney
Doo?
Tunes.
A
all
pup
that
named
crap.
Scooby-Doo.
A pup
I
named
even got
Scooby-Doo?
sucked in by that.
I loved a
Cassie,
pup
I would
named
race
Scooby-Doo.
home from school to watch a pup named
I hated
Scooby-Doo.
that it was on.
I'm an idiot.
I would like.
Flintstone Kids.
Flintstone Kids.
Boo.
Joe.
No.
I hated
Why?
the kids.
I don't
Is
know.
it just because
There was the snorkels
I
who
knew
were the
what it was.
Smurfs
Yeah,
ripoffs.
and of course there was the snorkel eaters. There were the snorkel eaters.
Yeah, it was all like insane.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Jetsons.
I think what
I
it
love the
was is
Jetsons.
if there was something like a kids Jetsons, it worked because we grew up on it. I watched all that stuff with my grandparents. I knew what the Flintstones was. Of course, I wanted to watch Flintstone Kids.
Yeah. And they
I
had
have
like the caveman hero.
a lot of underground
Captain
knowledge about a
Caveman.
potential Flintstones reboot that did not get off the
Ooh.
ground that would have really like shook the bedrock of
Wow.
it was really something else. And I cannot believe that Warner is just sitting on Jetsons. It's just sitting on
Yeah, that
There are
Flintstones.
so
Mine
many
too. There's
things
a lot
that
of
like
old
people
properties.
have been
In my opinion,
trying to
like-
figure out for years. I mean, remember
there's
Kanye
nothing to
West
figure out.
wanted
It's
to
all
make
there.
the Jetsons.
They just can't like
That's
no
so
one knows how to
weird.
do work. No one knows how to like get together. Like it's like yeah. it's
You
a
just
shame.
described the movie I want to see the most that I had no idea I wanted to see.
What?
The Jetsons or,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can I tell you what
Live
the
action.
post-cred scene would be? The Flintstones. Then they would do a
absolutely.
Flintstones movie. Then they would do a Jetsons
Oh,
meet
and I'll
the
tell you, I
Flintstones
love all
movie.
of
They
the
travel
like,
back in
the
time.
Jetsons and Flintstones are in the same universe. The Jetsons live up top and they're the bougie,
Oh, no, I hate it, I
and the
hate it.
Flintstones live in the regular world.
Our
like
spaceships
all that
run
kind of
on
stuff is,
rocks.
like, forever. I mean, like Cartoon Network, I really feel was like the birth of, at least for I think people our age, of like
Conspiracy
making
theories?
up, conspiracy theories, your own
Shared
shit
universes. synopsis, because we were thinking like, man, oh man, was Dexter's Laboratory and Powerpuff Girls, was there a crossover? You think there would be, because it's a shared universe.
Yeah.
There's like a through line, and like we never saw them together other than the bumps, but like in our minds we're like, wasn't there? And like,
what about something like Samurai Jack?
oh, don't even
Right.
get me started.
love Samurai Jack.
I didn't appreciate it as a kid, and then I revisited as an adult, and I was like, hold the samurai sword. Like, I couldn't believe how good it was. And then, have you guys seen the new?
Yes, I love the return.
Yeah.
Phil Lamar blows it out of the water. I mean, come on.
The Clone Wars animated that he did is the best Star Wars content besides the original trilogy, in my opinion.
Yeah, so we've talked
Genndy
a lot about
Tartakovsky?
you know, like the Cartoon Network originals and like old school cartoons. A lot of the stuff that I think Cartoon Network should get a lot of credit for is like kind of what we're leaning into now is kind of like the teen content, the Clone Wars show, the Toonami. I mean, like, can we talk about Toonami and their superhero cartoons for a little bit?
I would raise home
Yeah,
to see what
let's
was going to
touch
happen
on
to
that.
Tom, the guy who would drive the Toonami ship. Do you guys remember that
Yes.
weird
all
little
the stuff
time?
and
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm not much of an anime guy, but I would think a lot of American kids' first exposure to anime
Absolutely.
is Dragon Ball
Inuyasha
Z.
was the first time on there.
So like,
too,
like darkest days of my life, up at 5 a.m. Here comes Inuyasha to ruin
Yeah.
my entire life. I was at my grandparents' house. I was like, what the hell am I looking at? And I'm finishing Inuyasha the final act on.
It's so long.
Cassie,
It's so great.
after that Inuyasha, let me tell you what I was racing downstairs to watch at 6 a.m. while my
What?
dad was working out. Dun, 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 dun. I want to be the very best.
you
But
go.
no one ever was.
We're gonna
Fucking
get-
Cartoon Network had the Pokemon cartoon.
And
Yeah.
extra
Striped.
hate that we're
We're going to have to pay for that if we do any more.
only 3 bars, people.
Yeah.
I mean, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam.
Oh, Dragon
Gundam
Ball
Wing.
Z. I didn't even know what anime was.
No,
I knew
I just
what
knew like,
cool
oh, these guys are
cartoons
fucking
were.
fighting, and they turned Super Saiyan.
You got to think, if you're watching things like Powerpuff Girls or Dexter's Laboratory or traditional, like, the old Looney Tunes and stuff, and then you see a cartoon with giant robots or Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and
you just
like
see it as a
Gundam had
cartoon, but it's
some
like
of the first like 3D
the animation is
I
nuts.
saw. And
So
I was
you-
just like, what is this?
it's
Big
also
O.
super boring.
yeah.
Well, it's
not really familiar
it's like
with it.
70% space politics, and then you get some fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you, Mike?
No, I love Gundam. I love Gundam Wing. Let me go on record. I love Gundam Wing, but it's like the space politics part. It's like treaties. I don't know. Can you
Trevor
just fight the
Noah.
robots? Just
Yeah.
just do it. But-
Also, I very vividly remember the announcement that Cartoon Network was making a Justice League movie at first.
right.
I remember like waiting for it for weeks. And then it coming, and it was basically just the first 4 episodes of what became the show, were the movie. But like being blown away that it was like, it's fucking Justice League.
Justice League
It was
cartoon has a movie.
insane.
It's on TV. Dad, I'm watching it right now.
Yeah.
Batman's taking his mask off. He's saying he's Bruce Wayne to the Justice League. I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
This is the best day of my
I never
life.
thought I would see this. Flash forward 20 years, and there's like fucking
Yeah.
Justice League movies and
Yeah,
Avengers movies.
yeah.
Like, it's all live action. It's all here. But at the time, I mean, there was the world's finest episode of the TV show on WB, but like that was the only crossover we had seen at all.
Hey, let me hit you guys with a quick TV rant for Cartoon Network. Do you guys remember what your channel was?
Absolutely.
27 on cable. How about
36.
you guys? 36. Nickelodeon was 28, so I could just go up and down.
Nickelodeon was 37.
Ah.
It was Disney Channel 35, Cartoon Network 36, Nickelodeon 37.
I don't remember my channel numbers. I feel weird.
Really, you don't?
Mike.
Oh, don't
I
feel
would
bad.
always
It's
lose the
stupid.
remote.
Mike,
and it
you're
would
probably
just
a
be those
robot. You
3
probably
that I
don't
would
have real
flip
memory.
This doesn't look like anything to me.
So
Well, let me throw this memory out to you. How about channel return? Do you guys remember doing that with a clicker?
Yeah.
no, I
were you
only
flipping
would
back and
watch
forth?
Disney Channel,
Yeah.
Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon 40, Disney 45. I just guessed the number of Cartoon Network.
Oh, are you kidding?
Guess.
Let me
43.
43. Yeah, 40.
69.
Yeah.
Yeah, pop horn.
My other half.
There we go.
Damn.
It's a match.
Isn't that hilarious? Even
is
as a young
hilarious.
baby, but that was just how it was. And then I remember like growing up and learning what 69 was, and I had like a really weird memory of like, oh, that was my Cartoon Network channel.
There we go.
Well, and then we got slightly older, and it went from being 35, 36, and 37 to 49, 51, and 52.
Yeah, they
which
spread
were
them out.
Network or Comedy Central.
MTV, Comedy
VH1.
Central, and Sci-Fi.
Oh, there you go.
There's probably someone out there who can figure out what street you lived on based on the channels that you're listening. They're like,
my social security number is.
Please don't hurt my mom.
they're like, yes, these channels are only listed for this region.
Yeah.
I want to, really quick, before I forget, just Toonami related also, that's where Cowboy Bebop aired, and Fully Cooley,
I can't believe Fully
classic
Cooley
stuff.
got on the air.
And
I remember
Fully
being
Cooley, I
so
don't know.
confused when they stopped airing Dragon Ball Z and went to airing Dragon Ball, which was like
which is
the prequel,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I took that pretty hard as a kid.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated it so
It's
I
bad.
did
so
not want to see
different.
young Goku.
Dragon Ball is on Hulu, and it's like on my recommended, and I'm like, no, get out.
Dragon
of my
Ball or
face.
Dragon Ball Z?
Just Dragon Ball.
Or the movie.
I did not like
the live action movie.
But yeah, then you were also talking about like the Adult Swim stuff later.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved C-Lab 2021 and Aqua Teen
Yes.
Hunger Force.
I
Those are
lived. I
great.
mean, like my mom and sister, like and I, like we were our little unit, and all we would do was watch Adult Swim. That was all we would watch. Like even like everything. I watched absolutely even shit I hated, like Squidbillies. I love Squidbillies.
yeah.
I
love
love
it.
They had a weird way of growing on you too.
Yeah.
Like you would start one and be like, I don't really like that
Super
one.
Jail, I thought
and then
was-
I hated Super Jail at first, and then I fucking fell in love.
I
with
hated
it.
Aqua Teen at first. I was like,
hated
this
Aqua
is
Teen at
for
first.
idiots.
Nope,
And
I
then
loved Aqua
10
Teen
episodes in,
from
Yeah.
day one.
Fucking
I don't
meatball.
know. I saw really good there. I have very near and dear to my heart episodes of Aqua
100%.
Teen.
Do we have a favorite episode? Should we go around and just
Oh
say?
my god!
Of Aqua Teen?
I really-
I can tell you what it is right now. The Super Fruits rehab group that comes through. Do you guys remember that?
Yes!
David Cross voices in Orange. It's probably that's the only thing I've ever bought on iTunes
I love
before.
when
I had
they
it on
have
every
unwelcome
iPod.
guests. That's probably the best Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Do you have a favorite, Joe?
Carl's football corner. The New York football Giants.
Yeah, that's the best.
Like Carl would
Carl's
just
so
ramble about the
crucial.
New York football Giants forever. Yeah.
Yeah, your dad might be Carl now that I'm thinking about it.
He's a mix of Carl and Tony Soprano.
Yeah, might be.
I like the Moonanites.
Yes. Anytime the Moonanites would come is always a grand
It's
episode.
extremely slow but extremely powerful. Like the laser
Yeah.
beam is just 1 pixel. Yeah, they're great.
I liked MC Master P Pants.
Yes.
Every time he would
MC
come,
P
he'd be
Pants.
like, oh my god! And like
Anytime-
Meatwad would get tricked every time. He's like, I love this music, man. And it's like, oh gee, yeah.
Anytime the ghost of Future Christmas or whatever that turkey was called, I would
Future
love
Ghost
him
of
too.
Christmas
Yeah,
Past.
God, that would just blow my
I
mind.
think it's a cybernetic ghost
Yeah.
of Christmas.
Do you guys
past.
ever see
And
the
if my dad
episode
would
where
catch me
they?
watching it.
I know, yeah, I know. Well, my
the
mom
worst.
learned to love it because
Oh, there you go.
I'm walking in. But have you seen the episode where like all the villains get together on like the moon? That might be my favorite
and
episode.
it's just them all talking.
Yes.
It's just like voice loops. It's just
and the Moonanites are running it. The Moonanites
they're
are in
just
charge.
the
And then
best.
I also like the Neanderthal that was like trying to be smart. And he's like, yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He would just use really broken grammar and would wear a tie and be naked. And it was like, yeah, okay.
The frat aliens were fun.
Yeah.
And when the trees put Carl on trial and they were ripping his skin off and using it as
yeah, that was
paper.
a-
Anytime
Weird one.
Carl just gets
Poor
the
Carl.
end
Yeah.
of it.
Carl getting like the
pretty
shit
much.
end of the stick.
I needed
happy.
Carl. No, Carl's an ass. Like I loved every time Carl like got
Just ate
you know,
shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that car out front
Oh, the car.
and his swimming pool.
It's like
Can
I
I guys
had
use it in the
Carl
pool?
as a neighbor, even though definitely not. But I definitely who do you identify with one of the food objects?
Yeah, I would say I'm probably a Master Shake, unfortunately.
No, I'm Master Shake. I love Master.
I believe it, Cassie.
He's so
Just
funny.
in our own insane little world.
Yeah. And Meatwad is like, the
Bubbles.
no nothing.
Just
Yeah, the
innocent.
bubbles.
Hey,
Meatwad
who
is
really-
the bubbles,
okay,
and
so-
Frylock is the blossom. Yeah,
There
that's
we
how
go.
it goes.
We just figured it out.
I love
So I would
that.
say every show could probably be put to the Powerpuff
Powerpuff
formula.
Well, I mean, it's
Does that make
Teenage
Carl
Mutant Ninja
Mojo
Turtles. Throw back to that
I guess
episode.
so.
Your favorite color. That's your
There
favorite
you go.
Powerpuff Girl.
Yeah,
that's
there
your
you go.
favorite.
God, that is
Turtle.
too funny.
Well, let's jump out of the dirty side with Adult Swim. I want to go over to the
Jump out of the pool.
Cool, to the cool teen stuff that they're doing right now. I want to specifically talk about, they've got Adventure Time. They had regular show. Again, this is stuff where philosophy majors are coming in and starting to write like really weird, young people being recruited out of like Rhode Island Technical Institute, these like huge art schools. But the big one, Steven Universe. Now, this is the only show to be showrun by a girl, Rebecca Sugar.
Okay.
She's the best. She worked for Adventure Time for a really long time as a storyboard artist. She wrote a lot of the songs. She plays the ukulele. She is the full creative designer on this show with her partner. Steven Universe is the best. I think it's the most important cartoon to ever be made. It's the first one to feature a gay relationship very outright, gay kisses, intimate behavior, and just in a very adult look and understanding at sexuality in general and gender. You know, none of the gems of the show, quote unquote, have a gender. And that is very important for a lot of the fan base that watches it. And I think it's just hitting something that goddamn nobody else is doing. So if you're not watching that, please check it out, guys.
I'm saving Steven Universe, especially as someone who likes
will
crystals.
get obsessed.
I know. And like with the Bollywood, like I get into something, like I'll watch Steven Universe for 5 years straight. I know it already.
It
and
might be your entire next year would be Steven Universe oriented.
Most
Cassie,
likely.
if you got into
I do keep up with it. Like I know there's like new characters, and I know like that diamond character. What's like, oh my gosh. And like when I know about fusions and like I know about that.
And you know
I hate
what
that
it
I know about
means.
that. Yeah, I know what that means. And like it's just, I can't wait to get into it, especially knowing about like gemology and like different crystals. Like
and
she brought that element into it like really well, and it's sci-fi. They're in space, you know, they're going all around.
It's a concept that literally she said, I want to educate little boys. Like this is a medium for that, and I want to touch stuff that they are not being exposed to. I can do that with the medium of cool sci-fi originality. Like, come on, that is awesome.
I think we're in a new Cartoon Network renaissance with shows like Steven Universe, Adventure Time. What was the other one?
Regular Show?
Regular Show.
Love Regular Show.
These
Regular Show broke my heart sometimes.
Regular Show for teenage boys is probably like what South Park was to me
age,
growing
like
up.
boys from like 11 to 15. You know, it's like I'm not like a teenage boy, but I'm not like a little boy anymore. Okay, I'm not a little boy.
Very weird.
I'm too big for kid shows, but I'm too little for South Park.
That's my favorite childhood age. When I was a camp counselor, I just love kids in that terrible age of like, I'm not a freaking baby. Okay, I want to smoke a cigarette. Like. No.
You are a baby.
A lot of these shows have weird troubles like finding an audience. I mean, like not necessarily struggling to find one, but struggling to find the right one. Like a show like Young Justice. I remember seeing my first episode of Young Justice and calling everyone I know to just be like, have you watched Young Justice yet? Because it's going to get canceled if you don't.
But see, Joe, I remember watching commercials and being like, that's dumb. That looks dumb.
They didn't know how, they put it at a weird time spot, and they didn't know their audience.
Because their audience is like people who are just obsessed with DC Comics and want like good drama, good teen drama.
And unfortunately, in the way that we were consuming the medium at the time, Cartoon Network hits a lot of delays on what they do, obviously because of animation being a long process. So now kids are so lucky they watch it on Netflix. They just burn back through the seasons. When we had to just tune in, I wouldn't be able to follow a complex show like Steven Universe or Adventure Time if I couldn't watch every one of them.
Yeah, and Adventure Time, I mean, they would take long breaks.
Year long.
Yeah, and you wouldn't get anything. And then you'd be like, oh, there are 3 new episodes tonight.
Steven Universe has been on hiatus for over 150 days at this point.
Yeah,
Nobody knows
it's
when it's coming back.
I mean, think about Young Justice. Season 1 to season 2 is literally a 5-year time jump because it took 2 to 3 years to get made. And now we got that coming on the DC app. So I'm excited for a return to that show, even if it's not on Cartoon Network anymore, unfortunately.
No, but it'll still have the spirit,
Yeah. Well, and they have the Teen Titans Go show, which, you know, has a much different audience than Young Justice.
People really poo-pooed that, and now, like, the movie, like...
It did really well.
It was incredible. I mean, that's what they have going for them, because it really knows itself.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, oh, this is so annoying, and then everyone was like, all right, we'll be self-aware, and then it fixed it.
I feel like that's kind of the new renaissance, though, is being self-aware. Like, these shows...
Post-modern.
Yeah, and they grow, like... You know, watch the first season of Adventure Time and watch the last season. I mean, you know, if you were a kid watching that, you grew up with Finn.
By the time you finish the series.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Jake.
That's the quota. We got it. It's just cool to see Cartoon Network continuously evolve because, as we were saying, you know, Turner had all these rights to these cartoons. He needed somewhere to put them. This is at the beginning of when cable was really booming. Like, oh, I have all these channel just for cartoons, a channel just for cars,
What do
right?
they
Like,
come up with next?
What do I do with this? So everyone's so excited to have cable. Like, wow, all these dedicated channels.
Mike, like you just said, a dump should not convert to originality. You wouldn't assume a place where you're just leaving something. You would go, well, hold on, I can make some more money off of this with some creativity.
And the What a Cartoon format, that's basically pitching. You know, so using the
of
What a
course.
Cartoon just to pitch ideas, see what looks good, right?
And I mean, they have now Boomerang, which is a separate network that is just for these old school cartoons. That essentially
Didn't
it's like
there used to
a
be
YouTube
a
stream.
segment was Boomerang?
Boomerang
It was.
used to be a
Yeah.
segment with like old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. What was the one that was like Mario Kart, Wacky Racers? Do you know?
Wacky
Oh,
Races.
Wacky Races.
Was it
yeah.
called Wacky
There
Racers?
is, you know-
Fucking love that show.
Penelope
I can say
Pit
that.
Stop.
They're making Wacky Races. I don't know if I can say that, but that's like I don't know if that's not done yet, but they're making Wacky Races again.
That might be a scoop.
Huh. Might have got a free scoop.
Free scoop.
There we have a new segment now. It's called Free Scoop.
Take that
I
shot.
never saw Wacky Races, but
I loved it. I loved El Kabong, Quick Draw McGraw. I loved Huckleberry Hound. Oh my God, Dick Dastardly.
Yeah. Do you guys remember Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
Oh my
Space Ghost.
God.
I meant Brack.
So, guys, in this list of original programming with What a Cartoon, the show developed next to it was Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
I love
it. Has
Space
been
Ghost
on
Coast to
that
Coast.
long.
my mom liked
my
that
God.
show before I did. She's such a weird sense of humor,
Well, it
and
was
like
a play on
it was
like
yeah,
David Letterman.
Yeah.
Weird
That's
talk
and they
show
would
format.
get
hilarious.
real, and it was sort of like Between Two Ferns before Between Two Ferns,
That's a
where they
good
would
way to put
like
it.
punk the interviewer and who's obviously in on it, and like
Yeah.
and then they would do the weird asides with those other. So there was Brack, and what was the Mantis character?
I can't remember his name. I remember Moltar. I remember
Moltar.
what was his name?
I like the Mantis character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zorak.
Zorak, yeah.
He was my
Because I remember Brax's show, his spinoff on
Brax
Adult
show.
Swim, which was so
Yeah.
fucking
Did you guys
weird.
ever watch like Space Ghost before, or episodes of Space Ghost?
Hanna-Barbera's Space Ghost?
Yeah.
All the time.
Johnny Quest and like all those types of shows too. So weird that there were like, where
Yeah.
the fuck is the new Johnny Quest, man?
Yeah.
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 Haji?
Dora the Explorer?
Isn't he just Indiana Jones?
Yeah, but that's why I loved him.
I guess so.
You know what I
That
mean?
makes
Like,
sense, yeah. No, Johnny Quest was pretty good too. But the Space Ghost Coast to Coast, yeah, Letterman riff. Man, we almost missed that one.
Yeah.
Any last shout-outs, guys, before we jump to our next segment
That's
here?
the
Any
thing.
favorites from
as
Cartoon
we're
Network?
wrapping up the TV section
Over
here,
the
I'm
Garden
really just
Wall,
trying
the
to
first
think.
miniseries ever on Cartoon Network.
Cassie, what a cool rap.
Are you
So
no?
beautiful.
When I on a whim, I was watching something else. I was watching My Life as a Teenage Robot, and Hulu screwed up and just started playing Over the Garden Wall, and I watched the entire miniseries. I was like, "What am I looking at here? Like, it is the best thing ever." It
And
is
now we watch it every
so
fall.
Great. Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
it is a staple of the fall season.
I
I
have-
love that. You've been
I-
wrecking it. I got to check it
I
out.
can't
It's
believe
so
you haven't
good,
seen
man.
it, Colin.
I haven't
Like,
seen it either. So.
Oh
Elijah
my God.
Woods. I
It
mean,
is
what a
a-
cast.
Okay,
too.
so let me give you a little history. Pat McHale, the creator of Over the Garden Wall, what's really interesting to me for whatever reason, the second episode of the miniseries was his short that he made. And it ended up being the second episode of the series, but he made the short, and then they had the short, and then Cartoon Network came to him and was like, what about a mini series? And he was like, yeah. And they just worked on it, and it happened, and they released it like over a long period of time around, fall. And it got like weird play, was really like under the radar. I remember seeing tons of like screen grabs on Tumblr, and I'm like, this show looks incredible. And then it just ended up on Hulu, and it's probably the best thing Cartoon Network has ever done. Like it's infinite, it's deep. Like if you like Adventure Time, if you like it's very Adventure Time, and
It's very Adventure Time, but like also contained. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
miniseries.
But it has its own
You're gonna
deep
watch
mythology,
this
right?
very quick. Not
It's a
very
long
quick,
movie.
but yeah, and it's not even that long, to be honest. I
No.
think it's 12 episodes.
It's kind of like Twin
12-minute
Peaks for
episodes.
kids, too, right? Like, kind of weird.
Kind of like Twin
yeah,
Peaks.
very
Peaks for
Courage.
kids, yeah.
It's like
Oh,
Courage and
Courage,
Adventure
too,
Time.
yeah.
It's
Ooh.
spook.
Yeah.
It's very
Twin
spook.
Peaks, Colin, I think that's a great. Twin Peaks for kids is really kind of what, like, it's this weird foreign land where things are different. And
Yeah.
they're just trying to get home.
Christopher Lloyd is the voice of the Woodsman.
Oh, that's
Melanie Liznicki.
Mufasa, I think, is someone big is the voice of the Beast. Who's
Oh, was it James Earl Jones? Wow.
yeah, I think so.
I think it is James Earl Jones.
And if it's not him, it sounds just like him. And then Elijah Wood knocks it out of the park.
Is, as well.
Wow, let's start.
Tim Curry has a surprise character if you can catch it, and it's really, really great. And it's crazy, like when you find out who it is, it's so insane. It's like, what?
And it's just like, I mean, it's hard to say too much about it because it's one of those things.
I don't want to
really
spoil
just gotta
anything.
watch.
Like if anyone has not seen it, like I really don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
but
don't
like,
read anything about it. Just go
like
watch it.
if I could make any like holiday recommendation, it would be like Thanksgiving. Sit down and watch that entire
perfect
series
with your family of all age.
Like even through Christmas. Like honestly, like it's a holiday season show, and like it is just so good. I like as soon as we hit September, I'm like, all right, I'm watching Over the Garden Wall 5 times over the next 3 months.
I think the last time we watched
Bollywood
it was last
viewing.
Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Between 3-hour-long Bollywood videos.
yeah, I watch the entire
Palate
miniseries.
cleanser.
Yeah, it is a great palate cleanser.
But yeah, that's I'm so glad you brought that up before we moved on.
If I can do one last rec, you guys remember it was also just a breeding ground for weird shorts, you know, let alone inside. Like Dexter's Lab would have weird short spin-offs at the end of the episodes for 5 minutes. Joe, one of our favorite things, the Avengers, of course, had a spin-off, Justice Friends, with Major Liberty, Val Hallen, and the Incredible Crunk. Do you remember that? I laughed.
Yeah.
I thought that was the funniest thing in the world when I was a fucking kid. I didn't think you could make fun of the Justice League or the Avengers, but then it happened.
That's pretty great.
Oh man, I totally feel like I love doing episodes like this because it is such a nostalgia blast of like things that you totally forgot about, and then the second you hear them, like it just comes flooding back.
Yeah, exactly. And just like,
I'm trying to forget all the creepy, very old cartoons I had watched on Cartoon Network, though. Like, I'm a night owl. Like, I'm so many nights up watching like weird songs that to this day are stuck in my head. Like, I could leave.
So like
that.
pre-Adult Swim days.
Oh, like pre World War II days.
Like spooky, scary skeletons era.
Yeah, like black and white for
Wow.
sure. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, really cursed stuff.
I want some recs from like normies. If you checked out stuff in like that I kind of always just thought I was too old for, like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
I watch Foster's.
Chowder, stuff like that. Reach out to me if you like that. Cassie, you would rec that stuff maybe?
Not really. It's okay. It's not like a regular show. It's not like Adventure Time. It's fine. People liked it for what it was, I guess, but...
I'm always looking for something to watch, and cartoons. These are the things that I fill my time with, man.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm stunted.
I mean, there are shows I think that just transcend age. You know, like Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Steven Universe, Young Justice. Like those shows to me are timeless. You know.
Yeah, you're not 5 watching that. You have to understand what's going on.
Stuff like Johnny Bravo. Again, I think that's fun.
It would
like
be
that's
so
a joke
funny to
for
watch
adults.
so to watch that again now, I think would be really funny. Like just to watch a little bit would be like, oh my god, this is amazing.
They're making the movie with The Rock.
Oh God, I would wish.
Johnny Bravo.
That would be great. Big slip back pompadour.
Super blonde. He could do it.
Even The Rock with any hair would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, one thing we haven't talked about. Ben 10 was Cartoon Network. Did you guys watch Ben 10?
That's a huge and that's something again where people
watched Ben
rec
10.
out to us to let alone do on this show. But I've seen people who say like, well, people don't even realize that's like, if you want a Marvel franchise, Ben 10 is like some of the most sophisticated
That's
sci-fi.
extremely untapped potential
Seems
for
like,
Cartoon Network.
yeah.
I think
They've done live action movies on
it's tough
Cartoon
because
Network.
like the thing about Ben 10 is he can turn into any alien. So that's
Yeah.
like it works well on a cartoon, but live action, it's like we have
like?
got to
They've done live
stop
action.
with
They did
we
not
have
look
got to
good.
stop. But like in turn, I think they did do like a more like Ben 10's a little older
They've
or
aged
whatever.
him up before, yeah.
You don't need to do
Back
that.
full
I like
cycle,
it.
Cassie.
But-
It's for children now. They rebooted it to make him younger now. He's like a
because he was
It's
young,
cool.
then they aged
and
him
he
up.
has his
he
little
got to
cousin.
full adulthood.
Yeah, and then they did live action ones.
It's kind of like Inspector Gadget with aliens a little bit.
Well, that's a
sometimes.
weird pitch. I'm loving that.
It is, and like I don't know. That's just sometimes when you're young, you watch things you don't necessarily want to watch. Ben 10 was one of them. I didn't dislike it. I just like I'd rather be watching Powerpuff Girls for sure. But yeah, it's like he's got his little watch and
Right.
like that's his little thing, and he's real gadgety and smart, and he's just a little dumb little kid. He's not too interesting, so I wasn't like into it. But he had his cousin. I forget her name. There's other characters, I guess.
That was kind of like their
They have
answer
names,
to
too.
They have names.
That's
to
fair.
The Last Airbender, which was the
Yeah.
Whoa,
Nickelodeon.
yeah, that's
bit.
Nick.
Oh, we
We
can't
can't-
talk on
we
this,
can't talk
guys.
about
No,
that.
that'll be its own episode.
But I mean, I think
right.
that was the answer to
Where we only
what are
talk
we gonna
about
do
the
about the
M. Night
Last
movie.
Airbender. Oh, well, we'll get Ben 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My last shout out is just more, C-Lab 2021 underappreciated. It's an
Super
Adult Swim slate.
underappreciated.
Yeah.
I love that.
I saw
great.
like a handful of episodes.
Stormy.
It's
I was watching those on VCD. Like, we had to just get them all because we couldn't wait for them to air. We eBayed some VCDs of C-Lab 2021.
Wow.
Oh, Colin.
Yeah.
Why no Venture Brothers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite cartoon ever.
Oh, the mom.
You were saying Johnny Quest. I think they that was their
Yeah.
we don't have Johnny Quest anymore, but there's lots of
yeah,
Johnny
we'll bring
Quest
back the
fallouts.
parody of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
You know, I've said it a long time. The only show that's literally drawn by written
him,
by just the two people, voiced by primarily 60% of the voices on the show by Doc Cameron, Jackson Public, just the two of them. I think that's the hardest working show on TV. It
Yeah.
makes sense why they take those long breaks.
Yeah.
So back off a little bit, fans.
Also, a couple, we didn't mention home movies.
Home
Love
movies.
home
That's
movies.
fine.
Brennan
Weird.
Smalls,
Always made me-
Metalocalypse,
that's real
baby.
weird.
Oh my
God.
That was going to come up.
All of the Adult Swim stuff. We didn't dive too deep into Adult
But
Swim.
there's so much, but-
There's so much.
Not a cartoon, but Cassie and I saw Tim and Eric live.
Yeah, the weird live stuff.
Cartoon
that they
Network
have. Tim
becoming
and Eric.
live.
Yeah.
Steve
Yeah.
Brule. You guys love Steve Brule,
Yeah.
too.
Don't even get me started.
saw
on that.
him
Don't
on stage
even get
downtown.
Me,
Oh my God.
Yeah, I guess you are right. That's probably one of the first live action on Cartoon Network.
CSIS SC Go, whatever that one is.
With Paul Scheer.
Yeah, with Paul Scheer.
NSTV. Who knows?
Yeah. I think they kept changing the acronym.
I like the Heart She Holler.
Oh,
that was a
very
weird
funny.
one. I
Yeah.
like that.
Amy Sedaris, one of your favorites off of BoJack.
Yeah.
Well, Cartoon Network remembered very fondly. A lot of good shows to talk about, right?
Yeah.
They did
Yeah,
do a
let
little
us
bit of
know
other stuff,
again,
too.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, did we miss any of your favorites?
Yeah,
Any you want to
please.
hear more about? Maybe we could do a full episode on something like the Powerpuff Girls if you'd be
Hell
interested
yes.
in that.
I would absolutely.
Or just Adult Swim. I think Adult
Yeah.
Swim would definitely.
That'll be our next one then, yeah.
So let us know, yeah.
Because I'm so you said Metalocalypse, and that was one I fought. I was like, what the hell? And
Yeah,
when
same.
you let it happen, when you let Squidbillies
over
happen
you.
to you, holy shit!
When you get
I
washed
love
over
Squid-
by
Squidbillies
blood ocean.
you gotta
happen
let
to you.
Squidbillies happen to you.
You do.
'Cause it's like if you like King of the Hill, you'll like Squidbillies,
Hell
and if you
yes.
can
Yep.
handle Super Jail, you can handle Squidbillies too. So
It's like offering, recommending spicy food. Oh, you can eat jalapenos. You should be okay.
It
with
falls
this.
somewhere between a Squidbillies and a Super Jail.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that's the TV side of it. Let's go ahead and run into see what some of the comic book deals that they've done, and we're going to jump into that. The cartoons becoming a comic next.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girl. But Professor Utonium accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction, Chemical X. Thus, the Powerpuff Girls were born! Using their ultra superpowers, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup have dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the forces of evil!
Normies, we're back. We're talking Cartoon Network. We're talking the comics in Cartoon Network. Not too much here. Of course, they have a bunch of ongoings. The interesting thing about it is that they split the licensing deal. Cartoon Network reached out to IDW Publishing and Boom Comics. So there's kind of not a big continuity. The Boom stuff, more of the kid-oriented. You have the Powerpuff Girls, the older stuff, kind of brighter, more comical. Honestly, as we've talked in the past, pretty good at what Boom handles. IDW, the more adult stuff, you're talking the Samurai Jack, Tales, things like that.
Have we seen, Colin, any continuation of the Clone Wars in any of the comics that follow the series stuff? Because
No,
that's not canon
not yet.
anymore. I would like to see that.
Oh man, I miss that Clone Wars.
That Clone Wars series was great, and the Samurai Jack animation
Yep.
in the comics is pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
as
like
the show.
Gendy
You can see
Tartakovsky
that.
style.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would be most interested in the Samurai Jack ones of any of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would play a Samurai Jack video game till
they had that as well.
wow, that'd
I'd
be
play
really
the
fun.
shit out of that.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Especially now, just make it cell shaded. But for the comic side, Yeah, Samurai Jack is cool.
Their original tales, it's not just adaptations of the comic or of the cartoon. It is actually just different sci-fi things of what if he jumped to this time period. It has a specific one, Quantum Jack, which is just him going around,
Quantum Leap
jumping through the future. Exactly.
I mean, that's Samurai Jack. Is like he
Back to
Samurai
the past.
Jack.
Samurai
is just like,
Jack.
And that intro song, man, like what
Yeah,
a
it gets me.
vibe. Oh boy, yeah. None of that's in the comic though.
No, but it's cool.
But you can have fond memories of that. It's really
I
cool.
play the music
play
while I
that
read
while
them.
you-
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. It's a 4D experience.
Yeah.
And then if you're doing something like Boom, like the Adventure Time comics, incredibly popular. They've introduced original characters that have crossed over. They've focused on characters from the TV show. They've been extremely popular with their own brand of spin-off of the Marcy and Simon tale, which is, of course, Marcy the Vampire Queen and Simon the Ice King from that universe have a huge history where they went through the apocalypse together. And that's not explored in the show. So Adam Muto, the producer, and Pendleton Ward, the creator, said the comics are a perfect avenue to explore that. Let's go through the quote-unquote mushroom war through the comic books.
I don't know where else would be a good place to talk about this unless we ever did like a Scooby-Doo episode. But DC puts out a Scooby Apocalypse book that's pretty wild. It's an apocalypse universe with Scooby-Doo.
Also, this is something like not on here, but like, would Flintstones count, or is that DC? Because that was
DC owns the property,
But
like,
Flintstones was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, and that's everyone's original
if you
exposure.
are into like good graphic novels and you love the Flintstones, you love like the classic Cartoon Network stuff. I have like, oh my gosh,
Slice
it's
of life
so
comics.
good.
I mean,
It is
they're
Mark
like
Waid, the
Archie
guy who
books.
took over Archie, right? Yeah, so it's very cool running issue.
Really, really good
So
stuff.
good.
There's a couple of screen grabs I love, like just fucking Fred talking about dressing for the job you want, and Barney says, well, how long you had this job, Fred? And he's like, 15 years. It's like such good, like,
Dun-dun-dun.
it cuts down to the
That's so
suburban family
Flintstones.
court. Yeah. I'm trying to think other ones that might be good to just mention here.
Over the Garden Wall has a very small mini-series. Again, it's from the creator. It has nothing to do with the source material. It's its own little original standalone thing. So if you guys are fans of this stuff, supplementary material is out there.
Starburns Industries have
Rick and
a
Morty.
Rick and Morty comic, which we didn't talk about at all in the movie set.
Because we'll be doing a Rick and Morty
section.
episode
Yeah.
for sure at some point.
True. Yeah. So we'll table that for now then.
Oh, something like Steven Universe, of course, has original supplemental material as well. They're, again, introducing cool original characters in that. And again, exploring cool side stories. Rebecca Sugar herself, while we're just talking about written media, did an incredibly interesting episode that tells the tale of how let's just say lesbian relationship came together. That has been adapted as a children's book that she wrote that has, of course, sold out on Amazon 1 million times. I mean, it's incredibly popular.
Wow.
So yeah, not too much else here. Let us know, normies, if there's any other comics you think we should be checking out. But other than that, let's go ahead and jump over to the video games. And we're back. We're talking Cartoon Network video games. We were talking a little bit off mic. This was kind of my first instance of asking my dad to go to a website
Oh
to
my
play
God.
games on a computer.
Yeah. I mean, this was,
Ask your parents permission.
That's right.
Exactly.
We can't be sued.
Take the phone off the hook because it's dial-up, and I want to
my
get on
God.
the computer. You had to create an account. I remember the first time being like, can I have an email address? I need an email address for this. But the Flash games that they had were fucking dope. There was like a side-scrolling Justice League game.
Yep.
It was like a Game Boy game, but on the computer.
Yeah,
it blew
true.
my fucking mind.
Did you guys have any experience with this, Cassie, Mike? I mean, this was my summers. I don't know if you guys did.
I mean, I remember going there and like playing the Flash games and stuff. I had been on like Newgrounds and stuff before then, so like I kind of played.
You were
some
playing
Flash.
edgy Flash games then, yeah.
No, I was not playing edgy Flash games.
I was
This
playing
wasn't for
that
me.
stick figure
shoot 'em up
and stuff.
Yep. I knew exactly what you were talking about the minute you said it. I was going to this just playing like weird beach mystery games. Cassie, anything like that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was all the characters of the Cartoon Network universe. I just love that they did crossover in the video game.
It was almost like a Club Penguin before Club Penguin,
my God.
too.
No, I was an E-Bombs World girl. I was on E-Bombs World if I was on the internet.
They were
I was
watching edgy
watching
videos.
shorts. I was
Yeah.
watching Teen Girl Squad. I was watching
HomestarRunner.com.
HomestarRunner.com. I was on that.
Homestar Runner,
And
yeah.
like, do you guys remember like the exploding hamster? Like those were the dumb games I was playing.
In the microwave, right?
Yeah, in the microwave, and he would like curse at you.
I guess the internet was always really edgy.
I got really
Well, not
deep
me. I like my Batman game. On
No, yeah, I didn't
CartoonNetwork.com.
play games. No, I like to watch. Like, I like, you know, if it was engagement, it was just clicking through it. But like, do you remember The End of the World? Like these classic Flash videos back in the day. Like, I used to, you know, me and my repetition, I would just sit there and watch it. I watched them all yesterday. I'm gonna watch them all today. Like, that's how I spend my time on the internet.
Hey, that's time well used.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
There was a Samurai Jack one. You know, you were saying you would have liked
where you were
Samurai
side-scrolling
Jack
doing
video game.
adventures. It was badass. There were Mario Kart clones where you would pick Ed, and Eddie characters, make your own car, and race around on the website. You were not paying for these games.
Yeah,
that's what was so badass about it.
That was like, it was
Because you would watch
really ahead
ads
of
for the
time.
shows while you played the game.
Yeah.
Boom. Cassie, you just figured it out. I was sucked in. I was thinking about Cartoon Network. I was playing Cartoon Network. When I was done after dinner, I was probably going to watch Cartoon Network.
Or at least talk about it. You know, hey, do you see that?
To my dad.
Well, hey, that episode of Johnny Bravo. How about it?
Yeah, I'm working.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Well,
no,
now-
I never talked to my parents about Cartoon Network.
I know if you had a sibling or something. Oh, you know. Anyway, what other Cartoon Network games do they have?
I'll tell you platformers. So jumping off now, we've got current ones going like Cartoon Network Battle Crashers. That's something where you can play as Rigby or Mordecai from regular show. You can choose to be Finn from Adventure Time, and it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. That's
Side-scrolling
badass.
beat 'em up like old school Mario
Like Double
games
Dragon?
or Double Dragon.
Old school Double Dragon stuff.
Okay, so scrolling stage.
Exactly.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. What's good about this website is that it would work at most schools.
It would, yeah.
You know, they wouldn't block like.
No. My school was super.
Damn, they jumped
even
on it?
with proxies, because
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew about proxies at a young age, and my school was the devil, and
Oh,
they
really?
would block the living shit out of something as common as Cartoon Network. No
I
joy at
guess so.
school. No fun at school.
We lucked out in
Education should be
computer
fun.
class.
No, we would just IM each other naughty things and then get caught doing that. So
no.
not too naughty.
believe
It's
it.
just like, fuck you asshole. And excuse
That's
me.
relatively naughty.
We
No,
didn't even-
well, just to say it because you're a
Yeah,
kid.
and have an instant messenger direct line across the library.
Yeah, yeah,
Locking
exactly.
eyes with someone.
We were doing that through MS DOS.
Sure.
And like using the IP address of the computers, but then we figured out you could also issue a shutdown command to their computer
you would just
remotely.
turn it off?
Wow.
And then we learned you could set a timer and a message, and it would say, "Oh, fuck you, 10 seconds to go," and they would have to like get into DOS and do abort shutdown commands.
Mike's a little hacker.
Mike
bud.
was doing
That
some
is
real
so-
genius.
Yeah.
That's like some fucking war games.
It was crazy because you would figure out,
Ooh, I
all
wanna watch
right, this
more
IP
games.
address is that computer over there, and you just keep track in your mind.
You know what? It's okay that I was just saying, "Oh, fuck you, ugly."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we were
that's,
doing-
Mike
that's
was
a
ruining
lot.
people's
That's a lot
projects.
less mean than what
Yeah,
you were
we were
doing.
rude. We would eject the CD drive. You could do a lot with DOS through IPs. Anyway, that's not a Cartoon Network game, but it was pretty fun.
Are there any other these games you play? You ever play any like the mobile
Yes.
games, stuff like that?
Well, here's a mobile game that started this way. It's the same animation style. It's called Steven Universe Attack the Light. Now, that game then later got upgraded, adapted, and expanded onto, you can play on the Switch, Steven Universe Save the Light. That came out last year. Played a little bit. It's an RPG based, exactly like a Final Fantasy clone. Walk around, party of 3, attack monsters. It's fine. Again, original characters. Christine Brinkley, the actress, voices a very cool new gem on the show. I think that's pretty
Really?
badass. Yeah.
Was that a free to play or?
Yeah, that's why I can't start.
No,
with
you
Steven Universe.
that's actually pretty expensive too. But the mobile game itself was free to play, so I do recommend that.
Nice.
But if you want that upgraded version on the Switch, now get ready to pay a pretty penny.
Yeah, do you ever play any like the Game Boy games or anything like that for like Adventure Time or anything of those?
I have. The first one and the first game ever released for that is actually just a Zelda 2 clone, The Link's Awakening, where it's the side-scrolling ///.
Yep.
And the issues that I've always had with the Adventure Time games is there really does not seem to be any sort of creativity to them at all. The Battle Card Kingdom game is just your typical Magic the Gathering ripoff. They have a Pirates of the Enchiridion game that's coming out that's truly just an Assassin's Creed boat-based mobile fighter sort of ripoff.
Weird.
It's none of them are living up to the potential of it, let alone groundbreaking in the way that Adventure Time is. There needs to be new elements to the game. It can't just be an open world game. It needs to be something you've never seen. Yeah.
You bet your bottom dollar I would play an RPG where I'm Finn running around with Jake.
Running around the Candy Kingdom.
Something like the Stick of Truth. It's
100%.
actually, they put effort into make the Stick of Truth good.
Because Stick of Truth, that is so true to what South Park is.
You can't just take the base code of some adventure game and put a paint job over it.
Which is all they're doing.
I mean, unless it's like Breath of the Wild and you get the whole kingdom.
Well, hold on. I would do that in a minute.
I think one of the tough
I
things
take it back.
is like getting Jake right. Having the opportunity
Any
to
of those weird elements.
Yeah,
sure. Where
it's like, okay, well, he's, kind of like a Clayface-esque character where you can just transform into anything. Like, how do you take those mechanics and put them into a game?
Yeah.
I would like to see something like
Mario
Breath of the
Galaxy's
Wild.
got the hat. There's a lot of different forms.
That was a very new element.
Yeah. There's groundwork been laid. You would have to innovate some stuff, but you can't do it just by low-hanging fruit and just put the logo on it.
Yeah, but I mean, unfortunately, with these kind of like TV show cash grabs for kids, that's kind of what we've seen.
That's enough to get, make your bottom line. Just do it that way, So there's not a lot of incentive maybe for them to try harder.
No, and right now I think they're way too focused on these. Let's put all of our characters in one video game. It doesn't have to be the style of any of those cartoons, and it can just be a weird throwback platformer, blah, 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 throwback to any other genre video game. Get away from that. Focus on the properties you have. Make a great game in the Adventure Time universe. Make a great Steven Universe game.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
What do you want, Colin? What's your dream? If they were going to make a Cartoon Network game here,
out of any of the properties,
any of them.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Young Justice game that's good.
Oh, please,
I know that was pulled off, and I know that we used to play that. Was it a Wii game that you got me? Was it a Wii U? What even was it?
It was an Xbox 360.
It was
quick
bad
release.
though.
It
Boy,
was
the graphics, the gameplay, miserable.
Yeah,
so
and
go
it
ahead
was
try on
designed
that.
to fill the gap between the time periods. Because if you've never watched the show, going from season 1 to season 2, there's a big jump in time. It's not Robin anymore; it's Nightwing. This game was meant to like fill those years. It just was not
Train
very
wreck,
good, unfortunately. Not the Ultimate Alliance it wanted to be.
Oh man, there's another Ultimate Alliance reference. Yes,
we're back, baby.
Get a couple every week. I want a good Powerpuff Girls side-scrolling, beat 'em up. But with like deeper
Mike, how
combat.
about an open world game where you can fly around as one of the Powerpuff Girls, making one of those little trails through the air?
Oh, that would be
I
great.
think that would be so fucking cool.
Oh, like Tron?
Yes.
And you could like block each other off? Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Just give me the ability to click a button and I can switch which member
girl
I am.
you
So
are.
when I'm flying, we get the sweet triple stripe behind us,
Oh, that would be badass.
So that way, and like each one would have a different skill set. So if you need to punch good, you use Buttercup. If
Blossom
you need
has
to
the
heal,
heat
you use
vision.
Bubbles.
Yeah,
but if
exactly.
you need like
Yeah.
some kind of like shaman help, you do Blossom.
Yeah, buffs for the party or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Give me Super Mario 64, but instead of jumping into the paintings, you jump into the TV and you go to Courage the Cowardly Dog world. You're Courage the Cowardly Dog.
You want a What a
Courage.
Cartoon?
This is Turtles in
I want
Time.
a What a Cartoon game.
Wow.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's you're brilliant. You're a brilliant, man.
I was happy with the Powerpuff Girls game. Like that was.
I'm happy with it all, man.
Yeah.
Those all sound like great ideas.
So we just gave you a bunch of good ideas like we do every week.
Reach out.
We are available for
With
hire.
a paycheck, yeah.
Yeah,
We are available for hire. Heroes for hire.
Well, I
That's
think
right.
that's pretty much it for the games. Again, they do have some mobile games. Card Wars Kingdom for Adventure Time, Teen Titans, go figure. Download the Cartoon Network app. If you're an adult, obviously monitor what your children are doing. But it's a safe app. It's an easy app that has a ton of games on it. So if you're looking for that outlet for Cartoon Network, that's where you're going to want to go. But let's go ahead and hit the final wrap-up on Cartoon Network, guys. All right, guys, we're back. The grand question here when we're talking wrap-ups for Cartoon Network, are cartoons for kids? That's kind of what I want to know from all of you guys. Are we kind of stuck here still watching Cartoon Network stuff? Should we be going back looking at it? Should we still be watching adult cartoons? I mean, what do you guys think? Cassie, as our guest here, are cartoons for kids?
They're for everybody. Cartoons are for everybody. And you really, with fresh eyes, going back and watching it, even if you don't like it, like, especially if you don't like it, like, break down, like, man, why didn't I like this as a kid? Like, that's kind of how I feel about Dexter's Laboratory. Like, at the time, I really liked it. I guess I haven't really watched it again, but I don't know. Seems kind of spooky now that, like, I go back. I don't know if I could do that again, but, like, Samurai Jack, I could not handle that as a kid, and now, like, I appreciate it so much more.
I wonder how many of those shows could handle being updated like Samurai Jack was, brought into our modern world.
That was a huge premiere event out here in LA, too. They had the first 3 episodes, the whole big thing.
Yeah, and it's just so great. Yeah, they're for everybody, and, like, if you are making cartoons, like the people who made Adventure Time, like they did a great job because it's something that like you want to create a cartoon that the parents are going to look at it. They're going to have to see it. They don't necessarily want to watch it. Make them want to watch it. Make it a little bit interesting. That's like what my mom always appreciated about like Courage the Cowardly Dog and Powerpuff Girls. Like it was okay. It was like, oh, okay, I can tune into this. I can like deal with this for a second. Still and I mean, very loud.
for shows like Adventure Time, Colin, we were watching Adventure Time in our mid-20s.
Yeah.
There was not...
Oh, I've had a beer or two while watching that live.
Yeah.
That is not for kids in my mind.
I mean, Rick and Morty is one of the smartest shows ever written, so...
If you don't understand it...
Yeah, no, cartoons are for everybody, exactly. I mean, South Park's a cartoon, for God's sake. Cartoon Network, a lot of these shows were made with, you know, more depth. Like Cassie was saying, you need it to be able to land for adults, too, because they're going to want to blow their brains out if they have to watch the same episode 10 times in a row. And
that's why we can't take Cow and Chicken without being like, wow, that's a lot of ass. Like,
yeah.
That's a lot of ass.
The review, Cow and Chicken, that's a lot of
whole lot of ass.
Yeah, Cartoon Network's great. Big part of my childhood. And yeah.
Yeah, cartoons are for everybody. Not even just like adult cartoons like BoJack Horseman and Rick and Morty
Archer.
and Big Mouth, Archer. Like those are great too, but Over the Garden Wall brings me to tears. Adventure Time is lessons you still need in your 20s and 30s. You need to learn them then, just like you need to be reminded of them then, just like you need to learn them when you're a kid. Stuff like Courage to me stands up, man. Like that, those are, if you make something well, you're going to enjoy it at any age. Like a Pixar movie can be enjoyed by parents and kids and people in their 20s and 30s. Cartoon Network, I think, really did a good job at doing that with their shows for kids, with Toonami, with Adult Swim. They were an introduction to a lot of different art forms for a lot of different people. I mean, I can't wait to see 2022 will be the 30-year anniversary of the channel.
Whoa!
What are we going to get here? You know, what's going to be the throwback then? I mean, the shows...
I don't want more throwbacks. Keep pushing forward. Because honestly, after we've gotten stuff like Adventure Time, after we've gotten stuff like Steven Universe, move forward. Like, it's nice to have all this nostalgia, but I trust Cartoon Network
keep
to
breaking
know,
new ground.
Yeah, keep breaking new ground because you are doing the work. Like you were saying with Steven Universe, like we need to teach kids about gender. We need to teach kids about gender norms and abolishing them. And we need to teach kids like big themes like Over the Garden Wall, like, you know, responsibility and like, yeah, there's just a lot of ground to break. You know, like cartoons are for everybody. And if you're going to teach a good lesson, like you got to relearn a lot of lessons you learn as a kid, like over and over again. Yeah. So...
And I mean, my main point being, it's, you know, 1992 was not all that long ago.
Yeah, weird to think about.
You know,
I was born in 91. Oops,
wow.
now
they're going to know who you are.
So we know your age and probably where you live. But
what does that do, though, other than, like, humiliate you, I guess? But, like, if that's when I was, like, 92, man, that's, like, I'm about as old as this network. So.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, and think about how that compares to, some of these other ones that have been around for 50, 60 years. What's Cartoon Network going to look like when it hits that age?
Yeah.
Man.
Could be a lot of 3D. Who knows?
Do you think Adult Swim will ever be its own network?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I'm hopeful.
At some point,
I think they could do it.
I think it'll be a segment on
on
a Cartoon Network app.
Yeah.
Like the streaming service for Cartoon Network, and they'll have the Adult Swim.
Yeah, I don't think
box.
it's anything like that's going to be like how we know.
Mike, that's perfect for my final point. I'm going to miss channel culture. Growing up when we did, I kind of knew where things were. MTV was kind of for what I was checking out as a teen. Maybe I wanted to throw it back. I'll look at Cartoon Network. Comedy Central had this. Growing up, you just know that Netflix has everything. You can turn it on, but you're not guided to something. You don't discover something. When I turned on a Cartoon Network cartoon, I knew what I was going to get, but it was not what I thought I was going to get at all. And that's what was so cool and awesome about it.
And you kind of sit back and let the scheduling, dictate your viewing.
Yeah.
Now you just get overwhelmed. There's so much stuff. You can binge watch a whole series.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When, as young boys, we were watching things like Powerpuff Girls where... right now, if you're 10 years old and you're a boy and you see that on the app,
unlimited choice.
Yeah, you might not click that. You might just watch Ben 10 over and over again instead of watching shows that maybe you were less interested
Well, even
in.
saying to each other, I know in 15 minutes another cartoon's going to be on. I can sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
Wait, I like it.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't
Right.
get into Samurai Jack as a little girl, because I was like, oh, this is a samurai. What the hell? Like, I don't get this. And now as an adult, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Like, there's a lot more going on
So
here.
I get what you're saying about channel culture, though, Colin. I think that is
I'm gonna miss
something
it.
that's going to
like,
be
we remember
interesting to see how we
the channel
go.
numbers. Like, that's
Oh,
how much
yeah.
of a culture it was. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, there's like 3 fingers back and forth, baby.
Yeah.
There's 35, 36,
Yeah.
37.
You mean HDMI 1 and 2?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what's a channel?
That's the way to put it.
Yeah, that's like what channel you got to put the VCR, plug it in, channel 3 or 4, not sure. Jeez. I think Cassie made a good point too, that using these cartoons as a form of education and teaching, the kids, important lessons that, especially in today's day and age, there's maybe parents who are uncomfortable with certain topics, and it's good to have stuff like Universe out there trying to, raise the kids right. Put some.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
God,
because
right?
no, cartoons raised me, absolutely. Like, love you, Mom, but, like, cartoons definitely raised me. And I think, like, as, like, family-friendly as Disney claimed to be, boy, oh boy, could they have worse cartoons on the Disney Channel. And I was a Nick kid back in the
Me
day,
too.
because Cartoon Network was a little scary for me as a
was a
little
little
girl.
new, yeah.
It was just a little, and it was new, and so I was more of a Nick kid, but Nick didn't teach me as big of lessons as, like, Cartoon Network ended up teaching me and exposing me to anime. Like, that was a huge
Damn, there we
part.
go.
Yeah, that was a huge part of my formative years.
So it's
Watching things that you weren't necessarily sure what you were going to get
Yeah.
because that's what was on.
Yeah.
It's good that they continue to break ground then, because as the world around us changes, so do the lessons that the next generation needs to learn, and they're going to be pertinent in their everyday lives. So it's cool that they continue to blaze those trails. Like we said, nostalgia is great, but keep making new and innovative stuff.
Hell
Cartoon
yeah.
Network, you're awesome.
Yeah. Forward, always forward.
And it's not going anywhere. That's the cool thing, guys. The channel's thriving. It's doing great. They have original movies coming up. Adventure Time's going to have one. That's astounding. So congratulations. That's kind of our wrap up here. If nobody else has any final thoughts, obviously check out our socials. We always love when you guys rate, review, subscribe, check out the pod. But Cassie, as our guest, any plugs?
I do Instagram. I have a couple Instagram accounts.
Couple dope Instagram
Oh my
accounts.
God.
They're
So,
very good.
The one that keeps me very busy is my tarot account. Everyone's very into tarot these days and astrology and all of that stuff. And Colin was kind enough to get me a tarot deck for my birthday, and
Fucking
it's been
rocking it
all
out.
it's been all downhill from there. I have a Centennial deck now, and like it's just a lot. It'd be really swell if someone could like pay me. Like I've been doing lots of free first readings, but like I really know what I'm doing. So if you could be kind enough this holiday season to like toss me some money,
Reach out if you need a reading.
I really do know what I'm talking about, and like I do my best to like explain the cards. And I do tarot. I don't do the oracle. I don't do the angel cards. I don't do that. No offense to that stuff, but that's not what I do. But yeah, tarot's great. Cassio Tarot. Cassio for Cassiopeia. Constellation in the sky. Can tell you all about her too. And I'm also, it's, astrology is a big part of it, but it's not like that's the only thing. I'll talk about astrology, but it's mostly tarot. which factors into it. And then my other little account, Kitty Koi Pond. I haven't
Kitty
been
Koi
doing
Pond.
as Kitty Koi Pond's
in the
great.
house.
Kitty Koi Pond's in the house. Kitty Koi Pond had a really great Halloween season with its spooky theme.
Yeah, it
now
did.
we're getting back into the holiday season. Maybe there's going to be a little snow in the Kitty Koi Pond.
Oh my
Maybe some
God.
ice on the Kitty Koi Pond.
Don't you dare set us
People
up, Cassie.
love
I'm
the
very
Kitty Koi
excited
Pond.
now.
Kitty Koi Pond's great. So Kitty Koi Pond. That's it. Cassie Otero. Those are my accounts. That's what I'm doing.
Check them out on Insta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have those links on the website as well. So if you want to check it out and get a
Absolutely.
reading.
Yeah.
I get excited for the changing of the seasons at Kitty Koi Pond more than Hogwarts. It's a beautiful thing to witness, so check it out, guys. This has been Mike. Thank you for listening to Cartoon Network.
Joe.
This has been Colin.
Cassio.
All right.
Cassie.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cartoon.
Cartoon.
Wah, 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 wah.
Cartoon.
That was beautiful. Thanks for listening, Normies. We'd really appreciate an iTunes review, like, share, and subscribe on your podcatcher of choice. Catch you next week.